Going at another Astrea video, this time going with Sothis, one of my favorite characters to play as. I actually did a test run just to check and make sure that I knew what I was doing since it's been a couple weeks since I played, and I was successful. So I'm hoping to get another Affliction build off the ground similar to this one on 10.6. We'll see if we can do that.
As always.
So we're going to be playing on 10.6 with Sothis, and let's get into it. Sothis is a pretty interesting character. I feel like in the early anomaly levels, he's quite strong with his relief package, but once you start hitting the later anomaly levels, he's not that good with that package anymore. Still can win with it, just not a free win. All three of these are interesting. I'm going to go with the talisman here. Its downside is not that big of a deal compared to the other two. Definitely going Black Hole Blessing at the start there because an extra dice is always nice. So we're really looking for Affliction right here. We could go into Blazing Chanting, but that's kind of a combo package with Chanting, and I'm not too interested in that. This one's definitely interesting. The problem is applying Area of Effect Affliction to everybody when I don't have a payoff for that right now is kind of iffy. So I don't think we're going to do that. This one is okay. This is sort of just a stopgap measure until we can find something better. So I don't really recommend trying to go after a specific build, especially on high anomaly levels. But this is not a very good dice result. But with Sothis, I think you can kind of get away with it, and I don't like that die result. I think you can kind of get away with going after a certain build. His early game is usually pretty strong. I'm just gonna do some of this. And the Affliction package is pretty fun. So if we can get it off the ground, it should be a great time. These early combats aren't too difficult, but you definitely need to be a little careful not to get in over your head. Cast that. And now we're taking 5. We can heal ourselves all the way up. And that should be good enough. None of these dice are too important right now. Yep. Not a lot of commentary on this one. It's the first combat. Hopefully we can get out of here without losing heart. That would be kind of embarrassing if we did. Let's see. I haven't used sand shaping a lot. So we're just going to do that, try to clear off our Shadow Mantle here. And I do not like that result. Still not a huge fan of it. But I think we just pop him. And let's see here. I have even, so that's 3. Just do that. And be done with it. And from this point on, this fight should be in the bag. So with Affliction package, you want to be looking for the risky dice. Sothis, if you're going for Affliction, is probably the only character I'd say you just want to go heavy on Affliction. Like any other character, it's kind of risky, but there's so many good risky dice for Sothis. If you're going Affliction, that is kind of a no-brainer to go there. Well, that provides a light shield, huh? Interesting. Yeah, I have not used that dice very often, so. Alright, that should be basically it. hopefully we'll see some more exciting dice now. Forge Purify is okay, but we're really not that interested in doing it. Okay, this is exactly what I was hoping for. Searing Calamity is an amazing starting dice for the Affliction package. We really need to start looking for a payoff now, because this dice alone can let us do some great things. Soulburn is interesting as well, but once again, the mass AoE Affliction without really a payoff is kind of risky. This does do AoE Affliction, but it kind of has a payoff in its package already. So with that, we really desperately need some sort of payoff to capitalize on getting Affliction on enemies. We can't put a lot of Affliction on enemies right now, but we still are really looking for something. Let's see what we can find here. Shamanistic Domination is definitely interesting, but I don't really think it's something we want at this point. This is definitely something you'd get more later in the run. And none of these are really good either. I mean, here's an Affliction relief package, but we kind of already have that in our dice, so I'm going to skip on these as well. I think I could get the relief plus. It's not the worst pickup, especially because we're... In fact, I would think I will grab it. We're going to have area of effect Affliction and relief, so if I get a bad result on this, just putting it on myself for a Sentinel is not the worst. Okay, this guy is usually not a problem. We're still in kind of the early setup stage for this build, so it's entirely possible we have some issues. I'm just going to put the relief on him, and hopefully come out of this without any damage. Spend some time working. So I want odd soul heat to defend myself. Interesting. Don't really need to on this turn, but I'm usually pretty overly cautious with just defending myself. It's the reason why I remove the light shield dice from the base set last, typically. So I could do an AoE Affliction right here, and I think I will, even though right now it's kind of risky. Giving enemies Affliction is usually problematic. Let's do this. Especially because he likes to corrupt himself. But Doom self-corrupt is not that big of a deal. The obscure effect from my talisman does make it a little bit trickier to deal with enemies like this, but still no result, and that is not a good dice result. Ick. Alright, I think we'll still be okay. There isn't a great way to unlock my reroll again, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to put it on myself. Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's good. We'll just do this to give ourselves some extra light shield. And there we go. Not too big of a deal. Another one. It's very good. I like having two in the deck. Eventually. I guess we'll pick it. Now we absolutely 100% desperately need a payoff for it. Unfortunately, I really like going to the event and then the Sentinel shop. We could go for a chest here. Yeah, this one's pretty risky. Just in general. Because going into the elite fight with no real payoff for our Affliction dice yet can be a big problem. And going to the Forge shop this early doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, I really do think, though, we need to do this. Let's see, upcoming we have a dice and destroy and some shards. I think we still go for the event. The event is usually pretty decent. Oh, like, just getting an extra blessing. Always like that. Apply Serenity if the enemy gets overcorrupted is the thing that's probably going to start happening. It's not bad at all. but I really like having extra virtues at the start of a fight. We'll go with our Sentinel. Floating Cauldron is pretty good. I do not like the other one that much. This big hand. Okay, so first major decision here is, do we go for the elite fight? So on 10-6, you kind of have to determine, can your build actually take care of the elite fights? And in Act 1, there are 3 different elites. If we get the Crab, he will probably go down without any issue. He can be a bit scary. He might take a heart off of us, but that's usually worthwhile. The 2 anemones looking enemies, they are pretty tricky to deal with. And so are the clams. I don't know how well we can do against either of those. It's definitely going to be risky. I'd say we probably have a very high chance of losing a heart with this build right now against either of those 2. But, you know, it's early on in the run. Let's risk it. Sure, why not? Okay, we got the anemones. I think these are actually the midpoint of the most difficult enemy to face. I think the clams for this build at this point would have been much harder. But we will still have to race them because if they overcrop, they deal 6 damage, which is kind of a problem. We do have some light shield to defend against that sort of issue, though. This is not a very good result, and these are bad results from them. I'd really like to have them not do AoE damage. That's much better. Okay, so step 1, do that. Doom is not that big a deal. Getting Dizzy Dice is kind of more problematic. That said, we can't really rush any one of them down, so it might be better to focus on this guy first. As much as I don't like to do that. Oh, that's right, they blocked with their hollow skin, the relief. So that wasn't that great. Maybe I should have done that relief package before I did the AoE attack. Okay, let's see, what can we do here? We're not in any real danger right now. And we do want to take some damage from them. Yeah. Light shield is not going to be that useful in this case. It's okay though. I think we do this and this. We're going to heal up from our relief. And yeah, I think we just hit them again. Do that. Not the best dice results, but I mean, it's fine. So now we just have to try to remember where their overcorruption meter is. Okay, so what do we got here? Put this on you. I'm going to heal myself up so I don't die immediately. We're going to re-roll these. This result is okay. 5 total damage. That's not a great result, but I'll take it. Ooh, getting risky here. Alright. So this would be 4 overcorruption they're going to be taking. I'll just put that on my Sentinel. Doesn't really matter at this point. So essentially, we're going to be healing up completely, and these guys are going to be taking a lot of damage. But I do need to be very careful, because they are going to overcorrupt, and once they do, that's 6 damage to the dome. Let's see here. So I think the best thing to do is definitely to block as much as possible here. Oh, interesting. Well, that's not very good. A reroll is always nice, but rerolling into the 1 corruption side is not that good. We can't throw that on ourselves. Throwing it on the Sentinel would kind of suck. Throwing it on one of these enemies would be a bad idea, because they're just going to overcorrupt next turn if we do that. This is a very unfortunate Sands of Time reroll into a minor shield. I think the best thing to do is to do this. Heal, damage ourselves. Oh, it rolled again. Okay, well, that's fine. We're just going to hit this guy and block as much as possible from him. We're going to heal up and let the enemies do their turn. Okay, So this turn we might be losing a heart. We'll see what happens. If possible, getting this guy down would be ideal. I think we can do it. We're going to have enough relief coming in that we can, I believe. Let's see here. Also, we want to potentially heal up a bit. So, if possible, it's actually not a bad idea to overcorrupt this guy if we have enough health. So we're going to do that. We're going to try to burn through. This guy is not quite dead. And 3 is fine. The dice results seem okay here. So that right there, that's enough to take this guy out. So he'd explode. Now we just have to see if there's a way we can corrupt this guy and not die the next turn. I think the answer is to heal ourselves up. Doesn't really matter which order we take it in here. Heal ourselves up. Hit this guy. That should overcorrupt him. If I can remember how much damage he's doing. Which will deal enough damage to us. And then he's not going to overcorrupt next turn. Okay, that's good. Then what we need to do is put this on him. We can then heal ourselves up. Sand some time. Okay. Yeah, that should be good. Let's see if everything works out. Oh, of course. That's right. He does attack first before. Alright, so we did lose over. I'm not sure if there was a better way to go about that. Early elite fights, you kind of have to accept that you're probably gonna lose a heart. If this deck had a payoff for the corruption stacking, we could probably do a bit better, but it's fine. Okay, so we can force an enemy to overcorrupt at this point, which isn't a bad idea. Before I do that, let's see if we can remove some of these worst die values. That's better. Okay, we'll put some more relief on the enemy there. We'll hit them with more of that. More of that. Let's see, this is right now even, so I can purify myself with it. I'd much rather use it for the soul, the light shield. Let's see here. Shield myself up. Hit you. We'll overcorrupt again. And then you'll attack me, which is fine. Yeah. Some more sands of time. I don't really need to heal myself up. I can light shield. And right now he's taking 5, which I believe this is 6, so that should be okay. And even if it wasn't, we'd just be taking 2 plus 6, and we have the light shield to survive it. So, there we go. Alright. He is once again very close to overcorrupting, so we need to be careful of that. Let's get rid of. We're now at max sands of time. This is a very bad result. Let's see if we can get rid of that. I'll keep his dice there. Okay, 5 damage to myself, huh? Not ideal. Well, we're very close to just beating him, so I think we're just going to do that. An affliction result. We don't really care about that. I'm just going to throw that on my sentinel. We're going to do this. That unlocks that. I will shield myself up. Do I need to do anything else here? Do this to him. Let's see, this blocks enough. I guess there's no need to be risky, but yeah, this blocks enough here. And then I just attack him, and we're good to go. I'll heal up to full. He'll attack me for 3. Then he's going to take too much damage, and he'll just pop. So, this. I'll just do this because I'm a bit nervous about being so low. There we go. Alright. So 1 heart lost on the elite. Not that big of a deal. Fire protection is kind of a payoff. Half my soul heat times the affliction I have. It's not bad, but it's just not very good, and it's only on 2 dice. Incorruptible is definitely not a bad dice to have in general. We don't have a lot of ways to reroll into it at this point. Like, we don't have a great way to virtue loop, so a lot of the times this is not going to do too much for us. But having Incorruptible is great to throw on yourself during a turn when the enemy overcorrupts, or throw on an enemy when they're going to be overcorrupting. We are facing the Smoldering Beast, and he's not really that scary for this package, because overcorrupt doesn't do a whole lot. And right now I'm not very confident in the deck. I don't think putting in Incorruptible is going to do a whole lot for us, so I think I'm going to skip this one too, unfortunately. Okay, let's see here. Suneye, not too useful. Brightstone's pretty good. Hourglass module is also pretty strong. Being able to use that repeatedly. This one's strong. I like Brightful Stone though, because putting Safeguard on enemies helps ease into the affliction damage that I'm going to be doing to them. And if they have Hollow Skin, this just removes that and allows me to stack relief on them. So I think we're going to go with that. Both of those are pretty good, that and the Sentinel boost. So I think we're just going to destroy a dice and grab some shards. And then head out of this act, hopefully. We're just going to be destroying, I'm going to say the minor glass daggers. I'm just not a huge fan of these. And yeah, get some... do we want shards or do we want another Sentinel? I do think we're probably going to be doing a forge early on in Act 2, so getting some more shards would be nice. I don't really think getting a second Sentinel right now does a whole lot for us. So, the question is, how confident am I going into this boss battle? I'm going to say medium confidence. And that's because the Smoldering Beast is not that scary. If we stack Benevolent Relief on ourselves and the enemy, we essentially just outscale him. If I want to be safe, I can go over 100 shards. I do not think there's a necessary requirement to grab another heart. 3 hearts is way too much. We're going to be a little risky, I think, and grab another blessing. Kind of the name of the game with Sothis Affliction. If enemy gets overcorrupted, trigger relief is good. This one's not too helpful. Purging Incense is okay. It's definitely not a bad pickup. But this is more of something I'd consider getting in the later acts, or if there's nothing else good here. We are stacking up a lot of relief, so overcorrupting an enemy to get them to trigger relief can potentially take them out and end fights an extra turn early, or 2. So, not a bad deal. It goes with our current Affliction relief package setup we have. Wow, he rolled the 2 best dice for him, so yeah. I'd rather he didn't. Then I want to reroll Light Shield here. Okay, that's better. Do that, do that. We're just gonna start pouring on the relief. So in this fight, because of his Unholy Mist, I like to start stacking relief on myself first and the enemy later. So I'm just gonna start doing some of this. And I'm going to put some Light Shield on him, because if I can delay his own area of effect corruption, that would be nice. Alright, let's see here. Not great results. Just have to kind of go with this. Hit him for a little bit of damage. I definitely don't like this 2 AoE, but what can you At least he's not taking out my Sentinel. Alright, what do we have here? That's a big hit. Don't really like that huge hit from him, but let's see. Definitely want to reroll that, reroll this, and yeah, just reroll everything. Alright, much better. Those are his weakest dice. I want to see if we can reroll this, but it's kind of hard to do that with this current setup. Okay, let's heal ourselves up. We're not going to be doing a lot of direct damage to him. We're mostly going to be stacking relief on ourselves and the Smoldering Beast, and Affliction on my Sentinel. So let's see. Some of that there, some of that there. And block some of his corruption. So right now, I'd be healing up for 4, because this Unholy Mist activates the Shadow Mantle before the relief triggers. So I should be fine. If I do this though, then I'm going to have to use my Virtue for corruption, which I don't want to do, so we'll just do that. So we're kind of at a point right now that it's not going to be able to do too much. We have a lot of Affliction stacked up on ourselves, but a lot more relief. And yeah, I don't really think he's going to be able to do a whole lot to us. Although if he keeps rolling this 4 and 2 dice, he might be able to do a little bit more than I think. So we're going to roll that. Still not great, but it's fine. Just to make sure. It's probably best to just throw that at him at this point, but I'd rather just kind of not do the math. Sandsome type really going off here. Now we'll throw one on ourselves for good measure. So right now, this would block 8, and I'm going to gain 10 purification, so, you know, there's no need to do anything else here. He's going to hit me for 5. Over corrupts, but all he does is he applies more mist to everyone, which is, you know, it's bad in the long term, but we can easily outscale it. So what do we have here? Reroll this, reroll that, reroll this. He keeps rolling pretty good results. Much better. Alright, what do we have? A lot more relief. That'll also allow me to use my Sands of Time. I'm just going to use that on myself. And I guess I could just throw this on my Sentinel here. And unfortunately, putting a lot of Affliction on yourself kind of negates Light Shield, so it's not that helpful in the long run. Alright. Guess I should be actually using my Light Shield dice first. Just in case they go off. Kind of like that. Yeah, I don't really see. So he's going to do 4. If he explodes, he'll do 5 total damage. And there you have it. Probably played it overly cautious, but when you're on 1 heart against a boss, I usually like to play a little more cautiously. So of these, Charge Pylon is pretty good. Being able to copy one of your dice is never bad. Adapted Courier, being able to recall a dice from your draw pool, is also nice. Guardian, kind of like what I said earlier with Light Shield, he's useful early on. I don't think he's going to be that great later. So I think Charge Pylon is probably the take here. All 3 of these are honestly not too bad in general, but I think Charge Pylon just might be slightly better. Okay, so unfortunately nothing here that helps with Affliction. Precision is never a bad choice, though. Yeah, I think Affliction. We're already be able to stack up a decent amount of Sands of Time. We don't really need more relief, so we'll go for Precision. Alright, what do we have here? I didn't mention this earlier, but Miasma Cloak. Really good, but not for this sort of build. This is also not that great. Well, okay, so Codex of Burdens. honestly not the worst, because we're immediately refreshing, so we can use all our virtues, and that's kind of it. After that, we can only use them one at a time. We don't have a way to refresh. The problem with this is that if we look at our virtues, like, we're probably not going to be activating our Sands of Time that often. Eclipse Blast not being usable is kind of a toss-up. Sometimes it's great. If you aren't forced to use it, other times it's bad. Reroll is obviously something we're going to want to use a lot, and so it's kind of like we're being locked out of either rerolling or doing a lot of purification with Scorching Sands. Not the worst thing in the world, and this is probably something that could come back to bite me. But neither of these are very good otherwise. We just really need to roll more dice. Increasing the purification enemies receive doesn't help us a lot. So, yeah, I think it's going to be Codex of Burns. Not my first choice by a long shot. But hey, at least we get to roll 7 dice. This one, I'd say it's in Troubled Waters. So we can choose a dice and then destroy a dice. It's probably the best option here. We could go to an event and then get safe dice, but balanced dice are probably better. Okay, well, once again, we can see some relief and affliction, but no payoffs. So a lack of payoffs is quite bad at this point. I'm going to skip because we don't really need a little bit of extra relief or a little bit of extra affliction, so Forge Chanting is kind of fun, but not for this build. Hourglass Mastery, not very helpful. We're already kind of throwing a lot of relief in an area of effect, so this does not help us too much. And it requires minimum soul heat, so also not that helpful. Eesh. If there was a way to pick up more dice or look at them, I would definitely do that right now. We're just going to destroy dice, and we're going to get rid of this minor purifying. Okay, let's see if we can take this guy out without losing a heart. We don't have a payoff for Affliction, as I've mentioned several times before, so this is going to get harder and harder. We really desperately need a payoff at this point. Okay, so this guy's weird. So right now we can use all our virtues because we refresh them. But after that, there's only going to be 1 virtue per turn. So he's potentially doing 6. He did get the light shield, which is nice. I am just going to... It's going to take 3. He's going to be defended for 3, so I don't think I need to. Okay, well maybe I do. I'm just going to put some light shield on him. Stack a whole bunch of affliction. Rerolled this. Probably this one here. This one I should have rerolled earlier, but it's not big of a deal. Potentially doing 6 damage to us. Don't really care. Yeah, so let's see. What would actually be good? I guess the precision dice is fine. Getting a 3 is probably better than anything else at this point. Just going to toss some of that on him. So right now, yeah, he does overcorrupt himself, which can't be blocked by light shield, so that is a thing. I'm definitely going to be healing up enough. So this is all fine for this turn. Okay, so his confuse attack did corruption, which is fine. So, important thing to note, we can only use one of these now, so we have to be careful. And this is the confuse. So what I can do is I can hit myself with this. If it fails... Okay, so it was purification. And this is odd soul heat, so I'd like to block as much as possible from him. We're just going to stack up a whole bunch of heat on him. Do that. So he's doing 6. This is going to be 3. I think it's 8. So he's going to be at 4 because he took 1 last turn. I don't really think I need to try to re-roll this. I think I just need to try to race him. If all goes well, I will be able to beat him this turn without him overcorrupting. We'll see. Okay, so first off, not the best results. Probably want to use my virtue though for just doing purification. Let's see. I definitely want to defend myself with a blade shield because otherwise I'm going to be taking some damage. Just some more of that. So this confuse. I'm just going to throw this on my sentinels. If it blocks it, great. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's see here. I think he's a goner at this point. He could do him. So he could do enough damage to take me out, unfortunately. Okay, in that case, we actually might want to try to reroll which dice here. So results that would be okay would be... Well, not too many actually, just this one. So we could try this. This might actually take a heart off me. I mean, this is basically his worst result for me. So we'll see. Alright. I might be able to survive this. We'll see. This doesn't really matter. So if he hits me twice for corruption, then yeah, he pops, and I take a heart. That sucks. I lost two 50-50s there. Wasn't really a better thing to do though. Okay, let's see if we can once again find a payoff. Okay, here's a payoff. It isn't a great payoff because it's a safe dice, but it is a payoff purging eruption. 3 purification times the amount of affliction enemy has. We'll take it. Not great, but it works. Okay, and now we desperately need to search for more dice that work. So we're gonna go this way. Balanced dice. None of these are helpful. None of these are helpful. More balanced dice, please. None of these are helpful either. There is the relief. Refresh your virtues here. But it's not that helpful. We're probably not going to be hitting the minimum soul heat requirement. Yeah, I've seen a lot of this Bloody Solstice, but not good for this build. Alright, let's see if we can pick up anything else. Anything at all. Serenity and Torment, very bad. Refreshing Mantra, Fire Breath, nope, nope, nope. Mass Cleanse, nope. Sands of Time, we don't really need that. Rewind Chanting, not helpful either. Ugh. Okay, I'm actually of the opinion that the Area 2 elites or hard battles can be just as bad as the normal battles. There are a couple normal battles which are almost free, and there's one in particular that has 2 moths and like an enemy which is just brutal. I actually think it's harder than the hard battles. So this deck, we did pick up a payoff, which is good. I think we can capitalize on that a lot. It's not going to be amazing because enemies are probably only going to have 4 to 5 affliction, but you know, an extra 15 purification to an enemy isn't the worst. Of the 3 elites here, I think the crocodile with his 2 sentinels is probably the easiest to take out for this build. The kind of mirror match with the other Anubis character in his floating jar is hard, but not the worst. And the shark is probably completely fine too. So I honestly think the hard battles, all 3 of them, we're fine with. I'm not going to say we're going to walk out of this without losing a heart, because we very well may, but they're not that bad. Like, I have more confidence going into this battle than I would with the normals fights. Just because some of those normal fights can be really brutal. Okay, so this isn't too bad. Let's go for his effect does give you Doom. Is it 3 per... 1 for each die roll. I got it. We're not going to be re-rolling our dice, and Doom doesn't really affect this build too much because most of our bad dice results are Affliction, which aren't affected by Doom, but there you go. So Putting a light shield on him. He did block the light shield from my safeguard, so that is something to note. So I'm going to just put as much light shield as I can on him. So now we do have kind of an interesting conundrum where we do kind of want to stack Affliction on enemies for our Purging Eruption, but I'm still of the opinion that we don't want to go too crazy with it until we have a payoff. So right now we're healing up for 3. He's going to hit himself for 4 total, so that's enough on him right now. I mean, I could stack up another Affliction on him. It's not the worst thing in the world. I think I actually will. It's risky, but I think we need to race it. And we blocked everything this turn, so that's nice. Okay, what do we got? He's doing 5 damage. Just straight 5 damage, huh? It's not that bad. We're gonna do this. I do like a reroll. Very nice. Alright. So, once again, we are going to throw this on him for more light shield. He is taking 7 right now. So this will actually just barely block him. What do we want to use as precision? Probably, actually. Yeah, probably another Purging Eruption. So, very roundabout way of doing this, but yeah. Alright, let's see here. We'll just do this first. There are Affliction in my deck. Okay, didn't get any there, so we're just gonna cast it again. We'll take some damage, that's fine here. Oh, before that, no, that's right, I have the only one Virtue per turn, so I don't need to worry about Eclipse Blast. Okay. So right now, he is taking 5, that's be enough to push him over the edge. Do this. This. I have to watch out for my Anomaly 9 modifier here, but I should be fine. More of that. And do 5, that's fine. I can take that kind of damage. I'll give myself some leeway. 1 more relief is probably not going to break the bank here. Just so I'm not on 1. Alright, that should be enough to block his Overcorrupt. Okay. And unless something weird happens, this should also be an easy win. So we're going to do this. We're going to block even more, just so we have that leeway. Yeah, I think we can just take him out, basically. So let's see here. None of this really matters too much. Boom. Alright. Yeah, sure. Not too bad for this stick. Another Searing Calamity, eh? I mean... I guess why not? Again, like, I'm seeing a lot of repeats here. None of these I'm looking for, though. This one isn't bad. Boost. Safe dice. We only have 1. We only have 1 epic dice, but I'm not too... We're not going to be re-rolling a lot. I guess it's boost. It's not that great because we have so many dice for rolling already, so that extra dice we get doesn't help too much. Okay, so we have a lot of shards built up. We could go to the Forge Shop. And we can use that to remove some dice. The Doomed Astronomer is not that bad. Honestly, neither of these bosses would be that bad. I'm once again of the opinion, though, that I kind of think we need more dice. We need some better dice here. So I once again think the idea is we build up our charts, we check out as many dice notes as we can, and next act, I guess we're going to go to the forge shop. I mean, I could go to the balance. That actually might be the call. Yeah, I think, because I think banking up this many shards without spending them is a little too greedy. Oh, there's a refresh. It's not bad. Hourglass Master's okay. Definitely want to destroy a couple dice. The minor reliefs, you know, they're just not going to be doing a whole lot for us. This relief plus, I think, is kind of worn out its welcome. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it just doesn't, it's not really going to do a lot. I do still want to get rid of minor reliefs before we get rid of it, though. Okay, should we put out a refresh? It's definitely not bad. If we're thinking long-term against Astrea herself, only being able to use one virtue a turn can be problematic. Really wish we had an incorruptible side here. That would be great to have. I'm not really a fan of any of these. I don't often do this, but I am going to shuffle. Okay, we didn't get an incorruptible side, and we just got a bunch of AoE. Not that great. I think once again I'm just going to thin my deck down. I'm drawing 7 dice a turn, so getting down to 10 dice is pretty strong. Yeah. Okay, do we want to duplicate anything? Not really. We haven't forged anything. We can forge this relief plus into something. But the results here are not that great. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to save up. We're going to go to the balance shrine. I'm really hoping nothing here, that we get any kind of payoff. Nope. Gosh, this has been probably the unluckiest I've been with the Affliction build. There are several payoffs. We found one safe die version of our payoff, but that's it. Oh well, just have to make do. I'm not quite certain that we can take this boss out without losing 1 heart. I don't think we'll need 3, so I think this is a gain 100 shards moment. If we hadn't have lost our heart during that normal fight where we got unlucky with the 2 50/50s, definitely would have taken Star Blessing and been happy about it, but it is what it is. So this guy isn't that scary because all he does is cast Mass Doom on everyone, which, you know, isn't great. It scales him up, but it's not the worst thing in the world. We're also not going to be activating his Eldritch Influence very much because we're only going to be using 1 virtue a turn if we decide to use a virtue. Speaking of, let's get rid of this AoE. And I guess the sand shape. Or probably precision, actually. Still AoE corruption, huh? I don't like it. I do not like it. We do have to use this, so I'm just going to cast that there. Stack up a lot of relief on him. This doesn't really matter, so I'm just going to throw this on that, and I guess myself. Do a little bit of damage to him. Okay, and yeah, I don't really want to miss out on 10 relief. Doom to him is fine. We're going to heal up, so I'm just going to throw this on the enemy. Ugh, this 2 AoE Doom. 2 AoE Corruption, I should say. Not a great result. I'm probably going to be spending my virtue on renewals as needed, and not focusing on anything else. Yeah, unfortunately, that led to him over-corrupting immediately. Not that great. Okay, what do we got? Man, he's doing another AoE corruption. Really would rather you didn't, sir. 2 damage, not too big a deal. So let that. Oh, that's. Yeah, that one isn't so good, is it now? Not good at all. Okay, well, I'm not really sure how we're going to get out of this one. I was not anticipating this to roll immediately. And he already has, and he has 6 Doom. I didn't even see that. Like, everyone else has 1 or 2. Yeesh. Wow. Alright, well. This might be the end, I'm afraid. We're probably 1 turn away from winning, but this might very well be the end. Let's see here. So if I hit him, these 2 are for sure going to overcorrupt. I'm going to obviously take a heart damage. These 2 are going to pop me for 2 corruption. This guy's going to AoE Doom, which does 3 and then 5. Yeah. And I can't block it with my light shield because of Affliction. The only hope I have, and it's an 8% chance hope, is that one of these dice re-rolls into a corruption side. Otherwise, I think we're doomed here. Because I can light shield myself for 4 here, but that doesn't do anything. I could light shield the enemy for 4. That actually might be the play, and then cast the Doom. So let's see if we can do that. So this needs to be odd. Yep. Oh, thank God. Okay. Crisis averted. That was extremely lucky, but you know, this was also extremely unlucky, so we'll take it. Right now this is doing 6 plus 7 plus maybe 8. So I'm still gonna take a heart here, I think. But could have been a whole lot worse. And this is why I did not take the blessing. I'm actually a little confused there. Oh, it's because he overcorrupted. Okay. I thought we had another turn to go. Ah, Redemption Flail, putting in work. Okay, Stasis Clock is not bad. It's not, I mean, just because of the Incorruptible, honestly. That's the only reason why I'd consider using it. Over the Charge Pylon or the Floating Cauldron, though. Floating Cauldron is okay, mostly because of these Sands of Time. Charge Pylon, you know, it can occasionally give me a copycat. I think it's Stasis Clock. It's either that or Dice Drive. Dice Drive isn't that bad, but we're drawing so many dice. I just feel it's Stasis Clock is probably the pick. The Charge Pylon, yeah. Okay. Ah, finally, a payoff. It isn't the best, but I will absolutely take an Epic Soul Stick. Okay, so we're at 7 dice, so we only need 1 more. And we're at the top here. Darkness Shard honestly isn't the worst, but we're not doing a whole lot of just straight purification. It's definitely not bad. It's either that or Forbidden Atlas, which gives us Doom, which, again, Doom doesn't really affect us. So I guess we go for this. This does kind of not mesh with the Cosmic Sandals, because it basically means that the Cosmic Sandals is just going to draw an extra dice and discard it, but getting 8 dice on the first turn is not bad. It's either that or I get 6 dice on the first turn, and, you know, my regular amount later on, increased purification received by all targets by 1. That's not bad at all. Especially because if you look at it, like, the Soul Stigma and the Purging Eruption are doing multiple instances of damage. It honestly might be the play. I'm trying to think, would having 6 dice in my opening hand rather than 7 or at 8 in this case be a problem? Not really. I also just don't think, though, that it's going to matter too much. We just do a lot of damage that having 1 extra doesn't really do a whole lot for us. And Doom, I mean, it can be bad, definitely. But we're kind of leaning away from dice that have corruption, risky actions on them, so yeah. Alright, so I think this is a balanced dice into Forge. Actually, no, this is risky dice into Forge Shop. Here is a payoff. The big problem with this, though, is that we took the Doom side, so these corruption sides will hurt, and we cannot refresh our virtues, so we can't really try to re-roll into this Purge Corruption. So I don't think we do this. I really wish. If we had spotted this one sooner, and we hadn't taken the Codex of Burdens, this is one of the payoffs you want. It's so strong. I mean, you can just imagine we can easily put 7 plus Affliction on a target by turn 2, and this is 70 Purification. You know, that's an instant kill. If not on turn 1, provided you can re-roll into it, which usually isn't that bad. You can usually do that if you don't have locked out virtues like we do. I do think with the Soul Stigma, though, we don't need this. Okay, Burning Sands is not bad. We like Sands of Time, and being able to just throw Affliction on target is not that big of a deal, so I think we take this one. That's pretty good. Okay, I do think this is another Forge Shop. We don't really need shards at this point. Okay, Dice Straw is not bad. Is there something we want to dupe? I wish we could dupe this, but you can't dupe Epic Dice. I actually wish you could dupe Epic Dice at the Epic Dice shop. I think that would be kind of a nice change. Yeah, our win condition right now is kind of Soul Stigma, and just stacking up risky calamities and stuff like that. What is our map looking like here? Another balance, probably, and then a destroy, and then maybe balance, choose, Forge Shop. So we definitely have some Forge Shops coming up. I definitely think we get rid of another dice, though. And I don't think this relief is going to be doing it for us anymore. Any relief we get now is going to be coming, I'd say, primarily from Searing Calamity. This otherwise just doesn't do a whole lot. The Minor Shields aren't doing a whole lot either, though, to be fair. I think getting rid of 1 Minor Shield first is a good idea. There isn't any dice I really think we need to forge anything on top of. Like, we could put something on this Relief Plus. But I think the game plan now is that we just go straight into Soul Stigma, and we just try to grab that as often as possible and stack it up as much as possible. So I think it's another destroy. Yeah, at this point I think just another Minor Shield. Actually, probably a Sand Shaping, simply because having an extra corrupt site is now much more dangerous for us. And I think we save our shards. Okay, Act 3 Elite battles are really hard. If you aren't prepared for them, they can absolutely destroy you. There are 4 of them, and I think 3 of them we can take care of without any issue. The Chrysalid one, well, yeah, Chrysalid one is going to be, I'd say, middle of the road. The Shark one I actually think is going to be one of the easier ones, funny enough, because normally he's one of the harder ones. The 2 Corrupted Sentinel things are actually kind of nasty. I think we can take them on. I think they're also middle of the road. The hardest fight almost in any situation is those 3 kind of corrupted scholar-looking enemies. Those guys just can absolutely destroy you. With this deck, I think we do okay, but it's kind of a toss-up. I think we either would clear them out with maybe taking a heart, or they would absolutely destroy us and potentially kill us on the spot. Starting the act, though, at 3 hearts when I'd say 50 to 75% of the fights are in your favor, I go with a hard fight. Okay, this one I think might be the second hardest. Just because there's this hypersensitivity aura, and this guy can do 4 corruption, which is actually 8 corruption. Well, that's nice. I like having incorruptible sentinel die. We are absolutely going to be doing this. Actually, before we do that, we are going to put corruption on you, just to get some sands of time. Then we're going to be doing this. Alright, we didn't pop the sands of time because I want to stack up as much soul stigma as possible. Alright, but this should be okay, so I don't think I need to use this right now. I think we're just going to go... Yeah, that's pretty strong. I actually think I will do... Let's see, incorruptible. This guy will survive a bomb going off because of his 3 light shield. Okay. That's nice. Nice explosion. I think we'll just re-roll this. 3 to a random target is fine. I guess these 2 as well. And we could put Affliction on him, or just Relief. What are we going to potentially roll? We might get something better here, so I'll just use this. Yeah, I like this. It's pretty good. Let's see. You will actually overcorrupt. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to try to prevent that. 3 to a random target is fine. I mean, he could hit himself, but I think we're just going to do this. I think we're fine. Obviously, next turn is kind of the... Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting about this flail that pops, essentially. Okay, none of this is good. We're just going to skip. None of this is good either. Skip. Safe dice and starter dice. Not really using that. Ugh, none of these are very good. This is honestly might be a skip. Like, I guess I'm not sure actually if this photon glove works with the purging eruption. I guess I'll pick it. It's probably the best one of these bunch. So, all right. Safe dice, safe dice. No, we want balanced dice. None of these are good. We've seen a lot of chanting dice, I have to say. Here we go. Okay, here is a payoff package that's actually good. Purging Eruption Balanced is fantastic. Like the risky version of this, a little less helpful because we don't have the ability to re-roll as often as we'd like, but it's still really good. I'm not going to pass that up. I think we just go for more shards and a dice purge. If I could, I'd go over to this risky side because there's a couple of risky affliction dice that I'd love to put in this deck, which I think is we're going to be going up here to do that. But as is, I think we just keep focusing on getting rid of our minor shields, even though they are getting boosted by the photon glove. I just don't want to see them in my hand most of the time. Okay, so 2 out of 3 matchups I think we're pretty good against. So let's hope we get one of the 2 we are good against. Notably, though, against the Chrysalid fight, Purging Eruption is really bad because this hits multiple times and the enemy has 2 thorns on them. So, yeah, not great. This Soul Stigma, though, does not take thorns back at us, so we'll see what happens. Alright, Chrysalid fight. I actually think the Shark might have been easier than this, but this is still one of the easier fights for us to take care of. Okay, well, unfortunately, we did not draw Soul Stigma, which is kind of something we want to have. Yeah, ugh. It's kind of a shame, because we have pretty much everything else in here. Let's see, this would be... I also don't want to over-corrupt him too quickly here. these, we'll just re-roll those. So we have the Purging Eruption. I can do this. Actually, not a bad idea to try to fish for it, so we'll take a little bit of damage, but this is fine. I don't really want to do too much here. Alright, excellent. I'm going to put... So let's see, I can put 3, 4, 5 corruption on you. Even if I get some rerolls, I should be okay. That said, this is a situation where putting a lot of affliction on the enemy doesn't do a whole lot, so we're actually going to not do it. Awesome. Okay. I guess I can just use this right now. Just do a little bit of damage. Because I do not want to use it more than one time. Heal myself up. I mean, I guess I can use it again. Although I'd rather start using these first. And in which case I'm not going to be using this one. I'll just use it, whatever. Okay, I took the damage there. I'm going to put more relief on you. I should start using this actually first. Yeah, as you can see, it does a lot of damage. So that's pretty good. Let's see here. I don't really need... I'm already full healing, so I can do that. If I can't cast this on him unless I do this. Yeah, we do this. Then I can use this to take 2. I'm not going to hurt myself more. And I'm going to heal up anyway, so this is fine. Might as well hit him with this as well, do just a little more damage. Alright, he's a goner. Even if he overcorrupted, he would pop him, so we're good. We will just cast this on you. And, cast this on you, and you're gone. Not too bad. I'm glad we didn't face some of the harder elites. Namely the three scholars. Ooh, this is nice. Another little bit of soul stigma is not that bad either, but this is one of those risky dice I was talking about. It's not the exact one I was looking for, but refreshing your virtues means more rerolls, and I like that. Whenever you do corruption or apply affliction, increase your soul if you're 1. This one can go off a lot and give light shield, which is not bad. We're gonna pick the rope there. Okay. I do think we look for more dice. So I was talking about shamanistic domination earlier in the run. This is not that bad. Being able to change a dice to area of affliction is pretty good. It kind of just neuters the enemy. I do kind of like it. I'm not sure if it's really a great fit for this deck, but one thing to note is it also still works with your soul stigma. This is any affliction that gets applied. Soul stigma goes off. It is pretty good though. I think I will take it. And none of these are very good for us, so we're just going to pass. Choose up to 2 dice or an epic shop. Yeah, I mean, I think I just go for the 2 dice. This is very greedy. I mean, I have a lot of shards. If this was a 4th shop, I'd take it, but... Ghastly Fire. It's another way you can kind of do a relief affliction package. Copycat's okay, but I don't really think we need it. Don't really need any of these, so it's a whiff. That's alright. Okay, we have all 3 hearts, so I think sacrificing a heart for 2 Serpent Blessings is a very good idea. The Uncaged Anomaly, his overcorrupt isn't that bad, it's just 3. corruption to me, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, Martyr Puppet is also pretty good. This can easily save me, so I will definitely take it. I'm probably going to forget about it. Oh, we got so lucky. The Ethereal Plume. Affliction doesn't increase enemies over corruption. They get double healing from Affliction, but, I mean, that doesn't matter. Not for this build. It should be noted, this is not required at all for the Affliction setup to go off, as you can see, but this makes it a heck of a lot safer, especially against Astrea herself. He has 2 hollow skins, so he doesn't get the safeguard on him. That's okay. And we got a nice setup here. Pretty nice setup indeed. Alright, rerolls. We'll take this one. We're going to be changing his die value with the domination, so I guess this dice and this dice. We're just fishing for some more Sands of Time. It's nice. Okay, what do we want to do? Yeah, I think we'll just kind of go off here. We're going to play that for certain. Yeah, I think we're just going to kind of do that. I do want to cast this first just because it has more targets to affect, which lets Soul Sig go off more times, so we're going to be using this first before we do anything else. Pop. There are some pretty good dice results I'd like to get, so I think I'm going to change this. Don't need a... yeah, like, I don't need anything to protect me, so I'm just going to use this to grab an extra dice. Okay. Use that. Use this on myself. Why not? Put that on him. Throw out some more damage. More damage and more damage. Yeah, now that Affliction doesn't apply over corruption, it's so much safer to run this build. Yeah, so unfortunately because of the Cosmic Sandals, it's going to start discarding dice because I'm doing too much purification one turn, but that's okay. We're going to use this. We're going to put some Affliction on him. And this should basically be a kill this turn. And as you can see, this Ethereal Plume was not required. At worst, he would have done 3 corruption to me, which I would have survived. Okay, let's see here. None of these are very good. The Astrolabe can be used to discard Hex Dice, and we didn't pick up that Hex Dice relic. Do I want it over one of these, though? I don't really think I do. I have to get lucky, kind of, to get it, and it's not a huge deal, so I think I'll skip it for shards. Ooh, an Epic Purging Eruption. I like that. I like that a lot. This is basically like a mid-ground between the risky and balanced version, without any issues. So we will gladly take this. Interesting. So we definitely don't need more dice. Relief, this basically lets your relief trigger before the enemy's turn. We're not, we were using relief in the beginning to do a lot of our heavy lifting. We aren't now, so this doesn't help a lot. The gain 2 Affliction doesn't really do anything. We're going to be not worrying about that part, but overall this is kind of does nothing for us. Dealing an extra purification, though, is actually quite good. 1 Death Bomb on an enemy is fine. Notably, the Death Bomb anomaly level, I think that's, what is that, 5? Isn't present in the Astrea levels, so, we're already kind of used to working around Death Bomb. this is basically the same thing. It's not really a big deal. So I think we're going to take Unstable Bubble here. Alright, let's open the gate and see what we can do. The 2 oracles should be a piece of cake, no matter which ones we get. Astrea's avatars are also going to be very easy to deal with. Astrea herself is a bit more touchy. We have the plume, which I think is a huge quality of life against her, so there is that. Oh, that's rather unfortunate. I don't want to face Corrupted Mooney. To be fair, Corrupted Hevelius is also kind of a bad thing, too. Gosh, we have so many shards, too. Mooney can just absolutely destroy you, though. Like, I'm sure we can beat her without too much of an issue. But she might take a heart off of us, and I'd rather go into Astrea's final form with all 3 hearts. But the Epic Shop, I mean, isn't really going to be doing a whole lot for us. We kind of have the dice we need. I mean, we could maybe get lucky and pick up a second copy of Soul Stigma as an Epic dice, but at this point, I almost feel like we get rid of a safe Purging Eruption and like a minor shield, and maybe this one right here. Sentinels, I mean, you know, the Floating Cauldron gets a little bit better. If I upgrade Stasis Clock to 5, he gets a second Incorruptible Sight, which is good. Let's see. Beyond this, yeah, I mean, I don't really like either of these. Astra's not too bad. We could actually, Astra is actually free, now that I think about it, just because Soul Stigma doesn't trigger her dodge, so we basically just stack this, let her do whatever she wants to do. She's very passive, unless you go after her. If you have passive effects, she basically just melts. But we have to go through Mooney to face her. And we have to go through Mooney if we're going to go to the Fort Shop, which I do think is the plan. Okay, I don't like it. Mooney is very scary. She puts Hex Dice in your pool at the very start of the fight, and she can just absolutely destroy you and your Hex and your Sentinels, and overcorrupt herself very easily. But we do have a pretty good build going, and I mean, you know, if it's as good as I think it is, it should be okay. Getting some extra rolls would not be amiss. Let's see what we can do here. We can get an extra reroll and 2 dice destruction. We can also do a dice copy. I don't think we need a dice copy though. I think a reroll on a Purging Eruption is probably, it's either that or Shamanistic Domination. Probably a Purging Eruption though. Okay, I'm going to destroy the Minor Shield for sure. We now have no starter dice in our pool. Okay, so we can pay for another destroy, or we can do a duplicate. I don't care for any of the forge actions. I don't really want to spend a shuffle because then I can't do destroy if I don't like the results. We could destroy another Purging Eruption, because I think we have enough payoff between essentially the 2 Purging Eruptions plus the Soul Stigma, so I think this third one is, it's not going to be doing a lot. It was there to help get us through the axe. It's not that helpful now, so we could duplicate something. I just don't feel like we need to. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the safe Purging Eruption. Okay, wish us luck. Corrupted Mooney is by far the scariest oracle, I think, for just about anybody. So, we'll see how we do against her. I would not be surprised if she takes off a heart. I'm gonna really hope she doesn't, but we'll see. Okay, so we'll do our startup. We did not draw the Soul Stigma, which is definitely a problem. We definitely are using this. And let's see, what else can we do here? We can re-roll these. I'm gonna fish for Incorruptible. Okay, that's okay. So, why is Mooney scary? Aside from putting Hex Dice in your pool, she can mix up Corruption and Purify actions, which for us doesn't matter, but whenever a Hex Dice is played, everybody gets 2 Corruption. That's bad. That's very bad. So we're going to take every measure we can to not let her beat us over the head with all that corruption. Okay, so let's see here. I will use that. I guess I'll just hit you with this. So this wound, I can play it on myself. It's not that helpful though. I will use this. Okay, reroll, that's fine. We'll just play it again. I don't want to overcorrupt her too much, is kind of the only thing. I think we can do this on you. I guess I play this first. Doesn't really matter here. So you. More Sands of Time. Reroll, 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 why not? Okay. Let's see here. So this is being blocked. I have to play these. No, actually, I'm sorry, I don't. Thank goodness. Otherwise, that was a lot of corruption I'd have to take. And so would Mooney. I don't want to overcorrupt her. Let's see. Eclipse Blast on. I guess we just do Purging Eruption here. Not a very strong Purging Eruption, but it'll do. Alright. Made it out of the first turn without any real issues. Plume doing it work. I keep forgetting that the overcorruption doesn't get triggered from Affliction. Okay, let's see here. Absolutely 100% doing that. Yeah, I think this turn we're gonna pop off pretty decently. Yeah, let's do that. I think we're just gonna put an Affliction on you. Yeah, if I was remembering that I have Ethereal Plume, I would have stacked the 3 Affliction on Mooney here, but it is what it is. Okay. Let's see. You're adding 3 more Wound Hex dice into my pool. Oh, I really don't want that, Mooney. Please don't do that. So what I can do is I can try to do something a little bit different. I think I'm just going to apply Shamanistic Domination to Mooney here. And she is going to do some damage to me in return. So she would deal 2, plus if I hit myself with this, this is another 4, so this is 6 total damage, which is fine. We can live with it. This will kill off this Sentinel, though, which is a shame. But there isn't a great way around that, so let's see here. I guess the only other thing I can do is do this. Okay. Yeah. Potentially triggering a lot of Light Shield. So we'll do that. Okay, that isn't as bad. Guess I'll just hit myself with this. And Mooney will attack. And I guess I could reroll, get Incorruptible or something like that. I just don't see the need. We're going to heal up. Our virtues are disabled. Alright. We draw a lot of extra dice. What do we discard? We discard stuff. Well, that sucks. Oh well. We should be fine. Do have to remember they still have Death Bomb, but okay, Mooney wasn't that bad. Okay, and now we go for Astrea, who is almost always the easiest corrupted oracle to take care of. She would be very dangerous if I was using critical corruption on her as my only means of dealing damage, but we aren't, so this should be much easier to take care of. So we're going to stack as much sands of time as we can, so that we can potentially roll this a couple times, like so. Okay, yeah, we'll re-roll these. Oh, I do not like that area of corruption. Okay, that's better. Yeah, let's just do something like this. So, again, the soul stigma cannot be dodged, so pretty easy to take her out using this method. Same thing with the relief purification. She can't dodge that, which means also she can't gain crit and try to attack back. So at worst, we're looking at just like 2 corruption AoE, which is nothing. So yeah, I do not want to use these. I guess I can re-roll this, but I mean, why bother? Yeah. This fight is going to be a bit slower paced, but it should be pretty easy to do overall. Alright, we got the Shamanistic Domination. Just stack up some more of this. And she took herself out. Easy. Okay. Avatars also aren't that bad. Mostly because you're facing 3 of them, which means extra targets for your mass affliction to go off, which lets soul stigma go off multiple times. And the one on the right has death bomb. Got it. Okay. Cool. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Their dice aren't very dangerous. Let's play this. Oh, I love that. I really love that. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I guess we just kind of go off here. And like that. Let's see, they all have the same amount of affliction, so I guess I will just use it on this one. And you can just do... Oh, thank you. This. I was going to use this to change one of these faces, but I guess I don't need to. Yeah. Not very threatening. Turn 1. Okay, final fight time. Okay, so we definitely need to be a little more careful against Astrea herself, just because of her ability to change into her secondary form and do 2 corruption to everybody. So we're still going to play this out as kind of normal here. We could switch her into her different form this turn. which isn't necessarily the worst idea. But I am just going to roll these for now. Didn't really get anything better. Did not draw Soul Stigma. But that's kind of okay. Alright. Guess we'll just toss a couple things on her like so. So I could transition her over into her secondary form, which is fine, I think. I think we actually will do that, because I'm going to be using a lot of dice here. So, do this just to top myself off, and do this to switch her over. And now that she's been switched over, I can safely play this to change her dice value. Doesn't really matter here, but I'll do that. Let's see, this is doing 7 times 4. I don't want to... Actually, no, it doesn't matter if I do that or not. So, let's do this. I don't care if I hit myself with this. And we just do a small little burst. She'll play more Affliction to everybody. Her passive activates because she took too much purification. More Affliction to everybody. Totally fine. We do have to start worrying about Hex Dice now, which is a problem. But it's not too big a deal. Now, if I didn't have the plume here, I would try to keep her in her first form so that she doesn't have the ability to over-corrupt and destroy one of my hearts, because that kind of was... but as it is, I think we're totally fine. I'm going to use that. We're once again going to change your dice value to corruption. Okay. Wish there was a better way I could get rid of this, but alas. It might hit me, and I can do my reroll. Okay. Let's reroll this. This is not going to switch her over. Man, that sucks. Ah, well. Yeah, I mean, I think we just keep throwing corruption on her. So she's going to activate her dice again. Is it okay? Yeah, that's fine. Man, okay. So we have to use this. This is going to cause her to overcorrupt. Or, sorry, not overcorrupt. Her passive to cause AoE Affliction, which is fine. My gosh. Alright. We're actually entering an area where my relief stacks are starting to get a little close to my Affliction stacks. Slightly worrisome. Okay. You are going to once again pop, so I guess it's fine to just do this. Yeah, as you can see, this would be a little bit dangerous to do if we didn't have the plume. Alright, so what do we got here? Yeah, I think she might just be toast at this point. We'll see. Oh, right, she's going to use her meteor. Should be fine. No, my sentinel. Oh, well. Didn't even hit me. Kind of rude. Let's see here. Don't really have any good results, so I guess we're just gonna use this again. Okay. Yeah. Should be a lot of damage. Should also generate a lot of light shield. And cause a lot of boost. I got my reroll, thank you very much. I think these results are probably the best ones to retry. That's good. This one sucks. But it is what it is. let's go for this again. What do you know? She's toast. Turn 3. And that is Sothis on 10-6 with the Affliction package. I'd say this was a pretty standard run, probably a little less lucky than usual. We did not get a lot of our key dice until the 3rd act and the end of the 2nd act. And there was a couple really good Affliction dice we just did not see. Some risky Affliction dice. But overall, cannot be unhappy about that result. And just, I guess, as a little bit of clarity here, the risky dice we were specifically looking for is, let's see if I can find it. Should be Shamanistic Whispers. Here we go. So there's a lot of these. This one at the very bottom is the best. Lets you choose a dice from your discard to draw and roll. Obviously quite strong on its own, but all you need to do is find one of these dice. Maybe forge something decent on this side you can't forge on this side. Like Incorruptible or anything really. And then just duplicate this dice. You know, maybe once, maybe twice. And then congratulations, you have a, not an infinite, but a very long engine where you can play one of these dice, it goes into your discard, it pulls something else out. You play a second copy of this dice, you fish out the first copy, use that first copy to fish out the second copy, etc. All the while you're stacking up, you know, tons of Affliction on the enemy, and then you use a Purging Eruption or one of the other methods of payoff and just absolutely destroy them. I've been able to get about 30 Affliction stacks in turn 1 using this combination of just like two of these dice, and you know, capitalize on it with a Purging Eruption doing 6 purification. So yeah, about 180 purification on turn 1 easily. So very strong dice. Didn't see it, but as you can see from our result, it was not a requirement to beat this pretty decisively. So there you go. There's Sothis on 10-6 using the Affliction setup. It's very strong. I recommend if you're having trouble with Sothis, just kind of go risky and balanced dice. Search for those Affliction dice. Try to get a good payoff setup for him, and I think you'll be very pleased with the results.